All right. All right, you guys. So let's begin. I'm not gonna get on here gloating, but I'll just put it to you this way. I have a grin on my face. I have that grin on my face, ironically, by Judd Nelson from New Jack City when Nino Brown met his demise via that black man. So it's funny, all this hype and publicity going into the national championship game in which Caitlin Clark fails again to win a national championship. Now all of a sudden it's what she's done for collegiate sport. What's she done? I mean, for real, what has she done? Except basically be white. And keep in mind, she's a 5-year player. Now I understand because of what happened in 2020, but still, let's just keep it a buck. You got to win it all. And it was so funny. You had people taunting Angel Reese, making fun of her, putting her down. But at the end of the day, she still has the W over Caitlin Clark because she has a national championship and Caitlin Clark doesn't. And then seeing some of the ridiculous posts that's being placed online, these feminist, misandrous posts about, gender neutral sports. Could we please stop it? Could we please stop it? I mean, enough is enough. They have the WNBA for a reason. Now, if she could go in there and revolutionize the WNBA to where they're actually selling tickets and actually making money, then she deserves all the praise in the world. But let's see. Let's see will this hype continue as she becomes a professional basketball player and not collegiate. Because at the end of the day, collegiate is collegiate. It's guys that were just superb in college basketball, and then when they went to the pros, they did next to nothing, or they didn't turn out to be what a lot of people anticipated them to be. Hey, JJ Redick was a hell of a basketball player when he was in college, but when he got to the pros, he was a little bit above average. So, can we please stop it with this? At the end of the day, now let's see Jason Sudeikis and all these other dudes, though, these white supremacists and these coons like Jason Whitlock. Let's see what they have to say now that once again, Caitlin Clark failed to get it done. They say in sports you ain't supposed to celebrate losing. So now all of a sudden we supposed to celebrate her and commend her on losing and not getting it done. And what about the props that Don Staley should get for having an undefeated season that's overshadowed by Caitlin Clark losing? Since when did we sell? It's supposed to be about Don Staley. Supposed to be about Don winning, having an undefeated season, but yet it's about somebody losing. We ain't supposed to celebrate losing. Well, that's what you told us. Because if that's the case, then the Warriors should have been celebrated for going 73 and, you know what I'm saying, 73-9, right? Then the Patriots should have been celebrated for almost having an undefeated season, right? So now all of a sudden we celebrating some overhyped white female player losing in the national championship. Yeah, I said it. And I don't care who gets mad. Because let's just tell the truth. None of y'all are truthful. I've seen a whole bunch of handkerchief heads. I just seen a lot of I just seen a lot of coonery with Caitlin Clark. And then you had some of these dudes online talking about she can get it. Get what? What, passed on by? Can we please stop it? when it comes to looks, her and Angel Reese it's not even up for debate. It's not even up for debate. Can we please stop it with this BS? Because some of you guys, this is what I mean by a lot of you dudes are just view whores. You don't have the same energy, you know, but it needed to be said. Somebody got to say it. I'm not worried about backlash. I'm not worried about somebody talking about, oh, here we go again. Another guy playing the race card. Y'all played the race card, you cowards. All this because of a hand gesture. It was in the spirit of competition. Nobody had a problem with the white woman doing it, but then soon as the black woman did it, then oh my God, this is act like you've been there before. It's classless. But when Caitlin Clark was taunting her opponents, it was all good. Sensationalized something that really had been getting dead for years. That actually got created by a pretty much a black hip hop rapper that got basically mimicked and stolen by a white, wrestler. And then the company that he worked for, the WWE, basically capitalized off of it, sold apparel, and made millions on top of millions of dollars off of it, and probably didn't give Tony Yale one red cent. They always try to change the narrative right before our eyes. And then they get mad at guys like me who point this out. If you have a problem with me talking about race or certain subject matter, I'm not forcing you to be here. You don't have to watch my channel. Don't come on my channel just to complain. And this channel ain't no debate channel. I'm giving my opinion. That's it. That's all. Why are you constantly coming on here to argue? Why are you listening to my channel if you disagree with everything I say? That makes you a troll. And that makes you a attention seeker. But you're not going to get it off of me. People are mad because channels like mine speak the truth and say what's going on. Like I said before, nobody gives a damn about the WNBA. They really don't give a damn about women's collegiate sports. They needed a storyline, so they created it. Trying to indirectly play this black college student up against this white college student. And then doing this whole villain thing. Why the hell do Angel Reese got to be a villain? Oh, nothing's wrong with being a villain. Really? Really? Well, if that's the case, then why do we have prisons? Why do we have law enforcement? Isn't that the purpose of law enforcement, to basically protect us from quote unquote villains? Wrong narrative to push, you guys. That's real talk. Funny thing is, a lot of the people that portray themselves the so-called good guys is actually the real villains. The mafia wasn't lying at times when they would say the politicians were the real criminals, and based off what we've seen, from basically, Ronald Reagan to George Bush to Bill Clinton to Obama to, Joe Biden to Donald Trump, the mafia was telling the truth. But that's what this really is all about. You just got these women saying some stupid stuff online about Caitlin Clark. Let's see. Holla at me in 2 years. Let's see if the WNBA games are packed. Let's see if Caitlin Clark is, walking through places and everybody asking to take pictures with her. Let's see if she needs security everywhere she go. Let's see. Most of those WNBA players, most people don't even notice them. They can walk through a mall. They can walk through Lenox Mall. They can walk through the most popular mall. They can walk through the mall of Minneapolis, and ain't nobody going to approach them or know who they are. Because that's how much they care about the WNBA or collegiate sports. And shout out to, like I say, Don Stanley. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Because we should be celebrating her. Instead, we talking about Caitlin Clark losing. But that just goes to show you how the media thinks and how finicky they are. They expose themselves on a regular basis. And this is why they hate media like me, who keep it 100. That's what this is all about. We're supposed to be celebrating the winners, not the losers. We ain't supposed to keep constantly talking about what went wrong. What went wrong was she lost. I think people forgot I think people forgot what was really in store for Iowa. They forgot that they had to play that team, an undefeated team. So now they want to dismiss the very fact that they lost the game. Now they want to make it about her losing, a sad moment in sports. Nobody cares. I'm only talking about this because at the end of the day, I didn't like how they did Angel Reese. And that's what I'm saying. You got these cowards like 50 Cent and all these other dudes sitting up here worried about other stuff, that want to be inconsistent. All 50 Cent doing is because his feelings is hurt because his mail order BM got took by Sean Combs. And that's all it come down to. And everybody trying to celebrate 50 Cent like he's some kind of hero, man. Please. You guys are clueless. You guys are dumb. And that's just the bottom line. 50 Cent ain't no hero in this situation. If this the case, he should have been talking about this for years. I mean, he been working with the police ever since he came about. Now, all of a sudden, you've been around for 20 years now? Now, actually longer than that. Now, all of a sudden, you didn't went on this tirade, this witch hunt against Sean Combs. And I'm going to make this very clear. I'm not defending Sean Combs in no type of way, shape, or form. I'm just going by the inconsistency of 50 Cent. If you're going to have vitriol, if you're going to call yourself being a crusader, if you fighting against this stuff, speak out against everybody. Don't just speak out against the black dude, because it's more, everybody knows it's easier and more convenient to go after a black man versus going after a white person. So I just wanted to put that out there, but I'm going to speak on that later on. I'm going to probably speak on that. And he did duck the fade with Stevie J. And I'm going to explain to you why 50 Cent is one of the biggest fraudulent Negroes out there. Straight clown. But getting back to this whole Caitlin Clark situation, that's what this was all about. Them trying to, force feed another, white athlete, trying to sensationalize a white athlete because they felt that the black athletes were too dominant in sports. And they needed some pub, and I guess people were worried about that. They was like, hey, we need some representation. We need a person that we could throw up there with LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Could we please stop it? Caitlin Clark ain't even remotely in the same category with LeBron James or Michael Jordan. I mean, can we just stop it? This is what I mean by they try to force feed this stuff on us. And then when we call it out, they try to silence us. They get mad. They try to disregard us. And this is why you can't pay attention to mainstream, lamestream media, because that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, they love to say, let's not make this about race, but they make it about race. You think we don't know what they're doing? You don't think we know what they're doing? It's obvious what they're doing. I believe Angel Reese when she said she got death threats, because I've been doing this for a while. I didn't got death threats, which I ain't worried about it because I got plenty of weapons and I got access to plenty of weapons. So I'm not worried about that. But I mean, if you willing, to risk your, safety, you go right ahead. Of course, that's what this was all about. Like I said before, everybody is talking about what went wrong with Iowa and Caitlin Clark made an impact. Nobody wasn't even talking about Caitlin Clark until this tournament started. Nobody gave a damn about her. Angel Reese was getting talked about all year long because of the endorsements and the stuff she was doing. Angel Reese is gonna be far more marketable than Caitlin Clark. She's mediocre looking. Let's just keep it a buck. She's mediocre looking. She's not very attractive. Let's just keep it a buck. She's not very attractive. She ain't nobody when you see her walk into a building, you just be like, you start hearing those songs, you start seeing, seeing flowers and stuff. You just be like, ooh, you stop what you doing. I bet you right now, if Caitlin Clark walked into a mall, nobody would know who the hell she was. Just put on regular clothes and walk through a mall, nobody would know who the hell she was. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm sorry the truth hurts, but you about to be in pain. Because I'm just tired of this. I've had enough of this. Appreciate the super chat. I've had enough of this. Oh well, go to my Instagram. I already kind of then kind of spoke on that, but I have to know I have to know my limitations because you know how these people are, you know how it is, God forbid, you have limitations on pretty much how much you talk about black people, on social media. I find it amusing that you can use the N-word on social media like it's going out of style, but if you use certain words on Facebook, like the word that start with a C and rhymes with rune, they ban you from commenting. You use every type of racial slur towards black people, and these social media sites won't censor you. But if you say something remotely disrespectful to anybody that isn't acknowledging themselves as being black, then all of a sudden they try to censor you. Don't this particular platform do it as well? There you go. Because the black man is not safe, or the black person is not safe. You could pretty much make unlimited remarks. And then if you respond to it, like I said before, they try to shame you into, defending yourself. And a lot of times they they try to use our women just like they got a bunch of these stupid, dumbass black bitches sitting. Now, I'm not going to refer to them as women because they a bunch of dumbass black bitches sitting up here basically thinking that they could disrespect you on a regular basis and treat you any kind of way and think if you respond to them, they refer to you as sassy. Like, bitch, please. Sit your dumb ass down. Sit your dumb, clueless ass down. They always try to come up with these narratives. That sassy stuff is aimed towards black men. Come on now. We know who they talking about. So, I'm just putting that stuff out there, man. As long as we comply and as long as we follow a script, as long as we, what I'm saying, renew our membership of the go along, get along gang, it's all good. That's what Kwame Brown was talking about. As long as you push a narrative, like I said, I give you an example. A lot of these cornballs, these so-called boxing content channels, a lot of these, and I'm gonna make it very clear, whoever it is that think I'm talking about them, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about you. It's not like you gonna do anything if you see me in person. A lot of these dudes sit up here and then build their channels talking about other people. After a while, that runs out. And it says a lot about people if you join somebody's channel or subscribe to somebody's channel to constantly hear them talking about somebody else. And if you a dude that's not black and you enjoy seeing black people ridiculing and putting down black people, and you big black people up on putting down black people, you just a white supremacist or a non-black racist. And that's all it come down to. Let me explain something to you. And this is how I am. I don't trust white people that's always constantly trying to attack white people, because I come to the conclusion they might be trying to infiltrate. I would think something wrong, just like, I'll put it to you this way. I would think something wrong if I constantly saw an Asian dude talking about putting down Asian people, putting down his own kind. I would think that that's a little bit not normal. I think that would be toxic. I think that would be dysfunctional. And I think that wouldn't be, I just think something would be wrong with you and I wouldn't respect you. If a Asian dude constantly was talking about his own race to me, I would think something is seriously wrong with him. I'll be like, dude, you Asian yourself. Just like I would think something is wrong if a Mexican was constantly talking about Mexican people. But for some apparent reason, people loves and get off seeing black people putting down other black people. It, you know what I'm saying? The more toxic we are, the more dollars it turn into. Just like you got all these shows like Love and Hip Hop. Now you got this show. Now you got this show on YouTube and TikTok called the Pop the Balloon Show, where you have a whole bunch of black people sit up there and just basically call themselves supposedly seeking a significant other, and all they do is trade insults towards each other on a regular basis. Just say just horrible things about each other, just disrespectful things. Black people love, humiliating each other and making fools of each other. But that's what we do. But anyway, I digress. I want to get back to that's another video for another day. But anyway, I want to get back to the Caitlin Clark thing. Once again, that's what this was all about. So now they have to figure out how to put a spin on this based off the fact that she didn't complete the mission. The mission was to win the whole thing. But I think they really tried to dismiss the fact that they was going, in all likelihood, have to play South Carolina, and they was going to all likely lose. Because they really wasn't talking about South Carolina, that they were undefeated. They really got no play. Because they spent so much time trying to focus on Caitlin Clark. But I guess they mad at Don Stanley for winning, because they probably wanted her to throw that game too. They probably wanted her to lose. They probably mad at her for losing. I wouldn't be surprised if she getting death threats, saying you should have threw the game to let Caitlin Clark win and go out on a high note. Well, she goes out on a losing note. And I'm not going to celebrate losing. I'm not going to change tradition for her. Are we supposed to be celebrating the 49ers almost winning the Super Bowl? Who won the Super Bowl? The Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. The Texas Rangers won the World Series. Are we supposed to be worried about who they beat in the World Series? Absolutely not. So now we're celebrating losing. Even many moons ago, when Magic Johnson beat Larry Bird in the national championship, that was a while ago. Some of y'all wasn't even born when that happened. I was very little, very young when that happened. I barely remember that because I was very young. Yeah, it was unfortunate for Larry Bird, but at the end of the day, it was about Magic Johnson. They celebrated Magic Johnson winning. But what's going on now, they don't like the idea in certain sports that too many black men are the face of certain sports. This is why in baseball, why they basically tried to exit out a lot of the brothers. This is why in baseball they really, after Barry Bonds, and you see what they went to no ends to ruin Barry Bonds' baseball career. Keep in mind, Barry Bonds has never tested positive for anything, but yet Barry Bonds isn't in the Baseball Hall of Fame. They go by pure speculation. I'm going to say this again. Barry Bonds never failed a drug test, but yet he's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. But basically, to cover up their tracks so we can not claim racism, they had to say, well, you know what? Roger Clemens got to be the sacrificial lamb, because if we put Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame and we don't put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame, then people going to start hollering racism, and they going to start. So that's the only reason. So basically, Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds canceled each other out, and it was did that way on purpose. And then due to the fact that a lot of people didn't like Roger Clemens, A lot of people didn't like Roger Clemens, so that basically, uh, Roger Clemens helped and made it easy on people basically to blackball him or whiteball him, whatever you want to call it, because a lot of people didn't like Roger Clemens. So basically, that's what's going on. That's the real reason why Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are not in the Hall of Fame. They put them both alongside each other so they can cancel each other out. So if people say, hey, well, if you put Barry Bonds in, you got to put Roger Clemens in. Well, if you put Roger Clemens in, you got to put Barry Bonds in. That's all that's going on. But this is what I'm saying. All of a sudden, they trying to change the narrative. Like I said before, the 2000 NBA champions were the 2016 NBA champions were the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay? That's just real talk. Everybody celebrated how they pretty much ruined the Golden State Warriors season with the help of, basically Adam Silver. He helped, which led to the Warriors getting Kevin Durant and winning 2 straight, probably could have won 4. But, Kevin Durant, it's a question about him, being mentally stable and, his mental toughness, because he shouldn't have let Draymond Green run him off. He shouldn't have worried about what nobody had to say. He should have stayed in Golden State. Kevin Durant could have won 4 or 5 championships. That's just real talk. If he had stayed with the Golden State Warriors, it's just fact. Now you look where he is now. Phoenix, they're doing okay, but I don't see Phoenix getting to the finals and win. Me myself, I think when it's all said and done, I think it's going to be the Celtics and probably Denver in the finals. And in all likelihood, if the Celtics don't choke, the Celtics should be able to win it all. The Celtics are the only team in the Eastern Conference that's won more than 50 games. They don't have one team that's yet to win 50 games. They have a chance. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 games left to crack the 50 mark. The Western Conference has at least 4 or 5 teams that won at least 50 games. So, in all likelihood, it'll be Boston and Denver in the finals. I think the Timberwolves are not there yet. I think if they make some moves in the offseason, I think the Timberwolves could be a serious championship contender as long as they got AE. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I'm just putting that out there. But this is why mainstream media is losing its influence and its luster, because a lot of people just see what they're doing. Of course, people from my community see what they're doing, but it's people from other communities see what they're doing. Like I said before, now all of a sudden we celebrating somebody losing. We celebrating Iowa losing, getting beat. So what? Caitlin Clark was on that team. We don't celebrate losing. You can't change the narrative for some overrated white woman. Yeah, I said it. Until Caitlin Clark go into the WNBA and she make a real impact to the point to where she's selling out arenas. She's selling jerseys. She's selling sneakers. You know what I'm saying? She's making millions of dollars in endorsements. Then we could have this conversation about the impact that she's making. But at the end of the day, this was another situation where we had the mainstream media trying to force this person on us. And then, like I said, what they did to Angel Reese was deplorable. It was just despicable. For her basically doing something, emulating something that she saw her doing. If that's the case, then once again, if we gonna get mad, are people gonna attack Angel Reese for emulating something that Caitlin Clark did, well, then we should be just as furious when people emulate and taunt us. But nobody says anything when a black person get taunted. Listen, when Caleb Plant knocked out, you know what I'm saying, Anthony Durrell, nobody cared. He got knocked out. And Caleb Plant was taunting them a little bit. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. He won. It was a sensational knockout. That's it. That's all. Now, what if we would have been saying, oh, Caleb Plant, he's a piece of you. You know what I'm saying? Like they did Angel Reese. I couldn't believe the attacks that she received. And then, of course, when we called this out, of course, you had these people coming on here trolling, saying, hey, trying to tell me, hey, can we not make this about race? Fuck you. Like, for real, dude. For real. With a capital F. Matter of fact, 2 F's in front. No, 3 F's in front of it. Triple F-U-C-K. And who knows, I may add 2 extra K's at the end of that K. So there you have it. You know, I'm just saying, man. Just can we just stop with the BS? We know what this is all about, man. We know what this is all about. We've been knew what this was all about. So like I said before, we're celebrating losing. No, we're not going to celebrate losing. Clark lost. She got beat. Own up to it. You lost. You lost, my dear. Now, prepare for the WNBA. I wish you the best. But here's the thing. The problem I had with Caitlin Clark, she should have responded and said, hey, lay off Angel Reese. She really didn't say that. I didn't hear her say, hey, y'all need to lay off Angel Reese. Stop with this racist stuff. It's just competition. She didn't take up for Kate. She didn't take up for Angel Reese like she should have. She said she didn't have no problem with her, but she had a chance to pretty much dead this stuff. And she really didn't do nothing. So to me, I feel like she was in on it or she played along with it. She was trying to get people to rally behind her, and she knew what type of people was rallying behind her. So now to all them people like Jason Sudeikis and all these other people who were sitting up here caping for her, now what? When Jason Sudeikis, now I should go on his social media site and say, now Caitlin Clark couldn't see South Carolina or Don Stanley. Now what? They're not going to keep the same energy. Somehow, some way, they're going to try to get us to feel sorry for Caitlin Clark. No, I don't feel sorry for her. People lose all the time. You know what I'm saying? We should be celebrating the winners. They're going to spend more time, watch ESPN spend more time talking about Caitlin Clark losing versus celebrating South Carolina winning. Mark my words. But anyway, you guys, just wanted to get this out. Appreciate you guys.